I walked into the kitchen one morning and stopped in the doorway. My cat was sitting in front of my dog, not hissing, not running, just looking up at him. And my dog was completely still, looking back down at her. Neither of them moved. Neither of them made a sound. It lasted maybe 4 seconds. Then my cat turned and walked away, like nothing happened. My dog lay back down. A cat's communication system and a dog's communication system evolved completely separately. For millions of years, they had no reason to understand each other at all. And yet, here they are, in your living room, somehow managing to negotiate space, signal intentions, and occasionally communicate something that looks a lot like friendship. Most people assume they just figured it out. Tolerance, coexistence, shared territory, separate lives. But animal behavior researchers who study interspecies communication describe something much more active than that. When cats and dogs live together long enough, they don't just tolerate each other's signals, they begin to learn them, to map the other species' body language onto their own experience and build a working translation. It takes time, it takes proximity, and it produces something genuinely remarkable. I stood there thinking, what was that? Here's what I've learned since. That wasn't nothing. That was a conversation, a real one, with a beginning, a message, and a reply, carried entirely in signals so small and so fast that most of us spend years living with our pets and never once realize they're talking to each other. Once you know what to look for, you'll start catching it everywhere, and you will never unsee it. I saved the most important signal, the quietest one, for the very end. Let's start with why this language exists at all. Studies on multi-species households suggest that bonded cat-dog pairs develop shared behavioral responses that neither species shows with unfamiliar animals of the other kind. They are not using the same language. They built a new one, specific to their pair, specific to their home, specific to what they needed to say to each other. Think about that for a second. Two animals whose ancestors had no reason to communicate, sitting in your kitchen, finding a way. Here is one you have definitely seen and probably misread. Your dog's tail is wagging, and you assume, reasonably, that means happiness, friendliness, come closer, all is well. Your cat watching that same wag reads something much more precise than that. A tail swinging loosely to both sides means excitement, broadly positive, broadly aroused. But a tail moving predominantly to the right carries a different signal than one predominantly to the left. Research on canine tail movement suggests that right-leaning wags are associated with positive approach states, while left-leaning wags correlate with more cautious or uncertain ones. Dogs read this in each other, and cats, over time living with dogs, appear to develop sensitivity to it too. But here's the one that really matters. The stiff, high, slow wag, the tail held upright and moving deliberately. That is not friendliness at all. That is high arousal, intense focus, the wag of a dog who is very, very interested in something. And to a cat reading the room, that signal means something closer to warning than welcome.
I've tried to capture this in illustration. A dog mid-wag, and a cat reading that wag from across the room. What I always notice is where the cat's eyes go. Not the face, not the mouth, straight to the tail, every time. That's where the information is. They learned that over months of living together. Your cat knows your dog's tail better than you do. Here is a cat signal most dog owners have never heard named, but their dog has understood from the beginning. Whale eye. It's what happens when a cat turns their head slightly away from a dog, but keeps their eyes locked on them. The movement exposes the white of the eye, the sclera, in a way that isn't visible when the cat is looking directly forward. It looks subtle, almost nothing, but in cat body language, it is one of the clearest signals a cat can give. I am uncomfortable. Do not push this. I am warning you. And here's what surprises people. Dogs respond to it. Animal behaviorists who study cat-dog communication note that dogs living with cats develop sensitivity to feline stress signals that dogs without cat exposure simply don't have. They learned that whale eye means back off, that a puffed tail means stop, that a flattened ear is a real message, not background noise. The dogs that get scratched are usually the ones who haven't learned this yet, or who are too young or too excited to apply what they know. The dogs who have lived with cats for years, they catch whale eye from across the room. They change direction, they find something else to do. That's not instinct, that's education. Your cat has been teaching your dog, probably since the first week they shared a home. If you're watching this and replaying moments between your own cat and dog, noticing things in your memory that you didn't have words for before, that's exactly why I make these. The animals in your home are more fluent in each other than most of us realize, and understanding what they're actually saying to each other changes everything about how you see them together. Subscribe if that's something you want more of. Now, point 4. And this one is my favorite. There's a moment that happens in some cat-dog households that researchers who study interspecies bonding describe as one of the clearest signs of genuine attachment. It doesn't look dramatic. It usually happens in the late afternoon when the house is quiet. The dog lies down somewhere warm, and after a few minutes, not immediately, always after a delay that feels deliberate, the cat comes and settles nearby, not touching, just near, both of them choosing the same patch of afternoon light. That proximity, voluntary, unforced, repeated, is behavioral evidence of something that took months to build. In animal behavior research, consistent voluntary proximity between species that don't need to be close is one of the strongest indicators of genuine positive association. They are not near each other because they have to be. They are near each other because something in them has decided, this is where I want to be. But the rituals go further than proximity. Some bonded pairs develop greeting sequences, a specific set of signals exchanged when one returns to the room where the other is, a nose touch initiated by the cat, a particular stillness from the dog that functions as an invitation, a sequence that repeats day after day with the consistency of something practiced. These rituals are unique to each pair. They don't generalize. Your cat and dog's greeting is not the same as any other cat and dog greeting anywhere. They wrote it together, over hundreds of small interactions that neither you nor they could name as they were happening. The rituals are the relationship made visible. Once you start watching for them, you'll find them everywhere.
I said I was saving the quietest one for last. Here it is. At some point in households where a cat and dog have lived together long enough and grown close enough, the cat will do something that has no survival logic behind it at all. They will sleep facing away from the dog. Not hidden, not in another room, right there in the shared space, and they will turn their back. In the language of animal vulnerability, turning your back on another predator-capable animal is one of the highest risk postures that exists. Every instinct a cat carries screams against it. You watch your exits, you keep the threat in your visual field. You do not expose your back to something that could hurt you, unless you've decided it can't. Or won't. Animal behavior researchers who study trust between species describe this posture, sustained, relaxed, back-turned proximity, as behavioral evidence of what they call perceived safety. The animal has run the calculations so many times across so many interactions that the threat assessment has simply resolved. This animal will not hurt me. I do not need to watch them anymore. Your dog did not ask for this. They earned it. Through every patient moment of not chasing, through every time they read the warning signal and backed away, through every afternoon of shared warmth and no consequences, through months of simply being trustworthy in the only language that counts, behavior, over time, without exception. And one day, your cat turned their back and went to sleep. When I try to sketch that, a cat curled facing away, a dog resting nearby, what I can never quite get right is how ordinary it looks. There is nothing dramatic about it. No moment of decision visible in the posture. Just two animals in the same warm room, completely at rest in each other's presence. But I know what it took to get there. And once you know, you'll see it differently too. That turned back is the end of a very long conversation. The one that started the day they first shared a room. And it says, in the quietest possible way, I know you, and I'm not afraid. Your cat and your dog have been talking this whole time, in tail movements you didn't know how to read, in a white of an eye that meant, please, stop, in an afternoon ritual neither of them was taught, and in one turned back that said everything words never could. You live with two animals who learned to trust each other. That's not nothing. That's everything. If this changed how you'll watch your cat and dog together today, I'm really glad. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever caught your cat sleeping with their back to your dog, or seen your dog back away from a signal your cat gave? I read every single one of these. Your stories are genuinely one of my favorite things. If you're not subscribed yet, come join us. There's a video right there I think you'll love next. See you soon.